Every time I'm out of town or I'm busy, a nuclear thing happens in the Genshin Impact community, and it hasn't been an exception right now. So, hi everyone. Today we're going to be covering a sort of update, I guess, to everything that happened with the Atsu, Braxophone, and Velocity Tectone drama all the way from February. There's a lot of new updates regarding that situation. Atsu dropped a 34-page document. There have been tons of responses. This is probably like the third time I've tried to record, or the fourth time I've tried to record this video, because every single time that I try to record the video, a new thing happens and a new doc or a new something happens. So yeah, no, it's been a wild ride. Hopefully it is now all done and I can make this video and you all can get a TLDR informed, sort of unbiased as possible version of everything that happened. So first, I guess let's start with the very beginning. Atsu posted this video called Closure 08/06/2024, in which he basically outlines a bunch of the things he has gone through for the past 4 months, how he has felt, as well as a bunch of inconsistencies that he saw in Brax's document from February, and a bunch of things he had talked to Brax privately in order to get a better understanding from Brax's perspective, as well as fill in some holes regarding, you know, a lot of misinformation and a lot of speculation grew and got out of control before people managed to, you know, tamper it down. So first of all, trigger warning for unaliving. I don't want to say the actual word because YouTube will get mad at me, but Atsu has attempted to take his life twice. And I want to make it abundantly clear that regardless of what is in this document, what is, you know, what you see from every other creator, everything else, do not harass Atsu or anybody involved. Atsu especially has clearly gone through a lot mentally in the past 4 months. Remember that June is not only just Pride Month, but also Mental Health Awareness Month. Please do not pile onto it, and if you do in the comments, I will just delete it. No harassment will be acceptable in my comment section in my community, so do not do it. If you get mad at this, just get mad at yourself. No one deserves the horrible things I saw tweeted at Atsu, at Tectone, at Brax, all those people. So please just keep it to yourself, and this is just for you to know as much unbiased information as possible. He also, in this beginning section, talks about how his wife cheated on him. This is probably the only part I'll actually give my actual opinion as I read it. Most everything else I will just say the facts of the matter. But Atsu should not have included this in his document. This will only serve as 3 different things, which is either 1, get hatred toward his ex-wife, 2, be used as ammo against him, trying to manipulate people with appeals to emotion, or 3, take away from the conversation he's trying to have about the injustices he feels he faced throughout this past 4 months. He mentions that he wants no one to harass her, but no one would have known if that happened hadn't he brought it up. And some people, you know, get extremely heated about adultery, cheaters in relationships, and will end up harassing his ex-wife regardless. I originally was not going to be saying her name in this video because of that reason, but everyone under the sun, every creator has referenced or directly mentioned her. So if you hear me accidentally say her name, forget about it. Forget that I said it. She did fuck up, but they are getting divorced. This should not have been made public, and this should have been kept private. First, he begins by clarifying the not so commonly held belief that he has the power to influence, power and influence, to blacklist creators from working with Hoyo, saying that he can and has vouched for people in the past to Hoyo, but that he says that that extent of his influence is the same as, you know, everyone else's, and that it would just be the same as saying it in person to a Hoyo representative. A Hoyo representative asked him for opinions. Atsu then shows examples of when Hoyo has reached out to him to ask for vouchers, to ask for people they should work with, both via DMs on Discord as well as, you know, through email when Hoyo wanted to work directly with British creators through a different subsidiary, like talent organization or something like that. He also says that he doesn't like fake nice relationships and likes to keep it real with people, which is why he just outright said to Brax that he doesn't like him all the way back then. He says that Brax specifically lied about a contract with Hoyoverse and that it hadn't fallen through in order to protect himself from an NDA. This happened when Brax, Atsu, Mtashed, and Asmongold were all streaming. Like, they were all having like a Q&A, I guess, sort of section. And Atsu lied in order to protect Brax's NDA by saying that he had talked to Hoyo about Brax's contract, when all he had done was provide Hoyo with a list of names, as he has shown right here. He says that Brax was never blacklisted from Hoyo, which is something Brax technically never said. All Brax had said was just that he felt that he was losing out on opportunities because of Atsu's behavior and, you know, talking behind his back to other people in a negative fashion. He elaborates on the first document he posted all the way back, that the reason why he didn't talk to Brax and found him weird is because Brax told him that there was a potential sexual assaulter in the voice acting cast of Genshin Impact, which caused him to distance himself from not just Brax, but also all the voice actors in general. He also says somewhere in here that the Sekapoko scammed children in the past, and that's why he hates Atsu, so his word shouldn't be trusted. He says he personally took pay cuts so that more creator friends of him, or just in general, could be involved in Hoyoverse events, sponsorships, as well as other events such as Conquest in the Philippines and all of that stuff. He also then goes into open letters and apologies, apologizing to a bunch of creators, mostly those that are friends with Brax and Brax himself, where he admits that he kept them at arm's length and did not engage with them due to their relationship with Brax. He also then, after apologizing, goes into, you know, calling out a bunch of other creators that are somewhat related to the situation, like Asmongold, Gacha Smack, Box2, Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar, GooseEgg, as well as eventually Tectone. There is a lot of, you know, either personal jabs or things that he feels he has been wronged in this section, saying that Asmongold, all he tried to do was prove him that and expose him and label him as a rat. That Box2 was a little weird because it was half joking, half, you know, like also being complimentary and half also being like, like there were a lot of things. Like the Gacha Smack one felt very convoluted, talking about Kendrick and Drake, which funnily enough will come back later. Saying about narratives, not facts. I completely agree that these two grown men should be ashamed of themselves for how they are going about the beef, and that he was hypocritical for basically providing his point of view that aligned closer with Tectone and Braxophone rather than Atsu. To GooseEgg, which will also come back later, and basically taking back all the things he had said about GooseEgg, you know, having personal growth, and the things he had talked in private with GooseEgg about how he feels that GooseEgg wasn't manipulated or like orchestrated by Tectone. He takes that back and saying that Tectone allowed, like GooseEgg allowed Tectone to spin a new narrative and all that stuff. Then there was a section on Mtashed, which feels oddly very weird as well, because Mtashed was probably one of the most there was a lot of information that came from Mtashed hopping on stream and talking to Atsu, which eventually came back to bite Atsu. But Mtashed, all things considered, kept it relatively neutral. Then there's more. There's the Sekapoko bit about scamming children, which, as far as I'm aware, no one has provided proof of. And Sekapoko said that it was because Atsu believes that Sekapoko's audiences is very young, which Sekapoko disproved with just a screenshot of his YouTube analytics, and Some Ordinary Gamers saying that he had him fact-checked and just kept perpetuating Tectone's like lies and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of stuff up there. Most of that stuff is just either, like I said, jabs or things with no proof or evidence other than, you know, just saying like, oh, this was wrong, or you didn't fact check, or stuff like that, without going too much in depth. And then there's a whole 4 pages dedicated just to Tectone, which is probably the largest section out of everything. He brought up Tectone's name, if I remember correctly, 49 times. So yeah, Tectone was a huge focus point of this document, all things considered. But the TLDR throughout this 4 pages, as well as everywhere else where Tectone is mentioned, he says that Tectone's community as well as the general Genshin community's toxicity and increasing toxicity is due to Tectone's actions. He says that Tectone is actually the manipulative one, not himself, with GooseEgg, with other people, etc. He says that creators are afraid of confronting Tectone when he has bad takes because they don't want to face backlash from Tectone's fan base. Even though in this very 4-page part, he mentions that there is a recent example when the community didn't agree with him and multiple creators hopped in a Discord call, including eventually Asmongold, which is, a close friend of his and a co-worker from OTK, to explain why he was wrong, and eventually, he understood and he backed off. He also accuses him of making, his community made AI pornography of Atsu, which I did not see any proof of. Thank God I didn't, but it's an incredible accusation to make. And then also says that at the very, very, very end, says, I really do wonder if you would have felt anything at all had I gone through and succeeded with my not aliving attempts. Basically, insinuating that Tectone hates him so much that he wouldn't be sad or mad if Atsu had gone through and succeeded, basically. Which, once again, is an insane thing to say, but that's what he said. And then, basically, to wrap up, right before a small little conclusion, he actually has sections on his friends, which is mostly about Dish, Tuonto, and Psyox, which is a little weird on that last one. Talk about it. He says Dish and Tuonto threw him under the bus. Basically, he says that Tuonto lied to the internet and directly to Brax by saying that he had no negative opinion of Brax when he had, per the screenshots Atsu had sent earlier, which, if you give me a second to scroll all the way back, this is a massive document. Here. Yeah. It says, bro, I was not happy. He can suck my ass and talk to Brax. And Ying can too. I'm breaking rules and inviting people as well. And this is just utterly disrespectful to the host and consider creating problems should not have been made. I'm a professional. Very disappointed in Ying. That was mean, but I didn't mean this. But that situation was very frustrating. And then Atsu said, on a serious note though, mostly it seems to him wanted to be friends with you. I don't even think that's the case. I think he just wanted to get into the party. Also, if he wanted to be my friend, he wouldn't have apologized so poorly to blank during that incident and followed and unfollowed me repeatedly until I noticed on Twitter. So yeah, there's Tuonto had a negative opinion of Brax, and the reason why Brax didn't get invited to certain events was actually because Tuonto had a bad opinion on him. Even though the original, the original reason why Brax reached out to Atsu to try to, clarify if anything was bad and all of that, and the bad impression Brax had on Atsu and how it all spiraled out of control was originally from 2021, which was 2 years before this happened, or a year before this happened. So, take it with a bit of a grain of salt. He also has a section on Darag Dish. I always fuck up her name, my bad. And he says Dish was aware of the true nature of the events regarding what happened with Brax and what he wasn't invited to, but feigned ignorance to protect her public image, which is probably one of the few points he had very obvious evidence for in all of this, which we'll come back to later. And then right at the very, very end, wrap up this document, he has a section on Xiox, which he says that Xiox has skeletons in his closet, and then he had prior beef with Brax that he needed to basically either talk with Brax and squash it or air it out, which was an extremely insane thing to say. And the language in this, especially with the I don't want anything to do with whatever skeletons or cautions you may or may not have in your closet. I need to work shit out with Braxophone privately. Made it seem very and this, from my understanding, neither of you have made any efforts to contact each other over it and plan to sweep it under the rug, which is just going to lead to more rumor spreading, which sounds like a very serious thing happened. And we will get back on that because Psyox, spoiler alert, did respond. So yeah, now we move on to a bit of a TLDR, extreme TLDR of Tectone's response. Basically, it's an incredibly long VOD, over 3 hours long, of just going over the document and disproving any accusations thrown at him, or at least challenges them significantly, like the AI pornography thing, which, like I said, as far as I'm aware, I've not seen a single example of, or anyone pointing oh, this guy either made this or is a fan of Tectone. Like, there's no real case for that as far as I'm aware. Since this is also a lot about rehashing old drama and just accusations of Tectone being manipulative, if you truly want to see every point that Tectone goes into and every single rebuttal he had, you should just go watch his video. Like, for the purposes of this video, a lot of the stuff that they talk about is largely irrelevant about the allegations against Atsu and his rebuttal to them from the perspective of the Brax drama. The only one I will mention is that the DMs that Atsu showed. I accidentally closed the document. Actually, I'll just keep it open because we're going to be back here quite a bit. But these right here, that made it seem like Atsu was trying to, you know, teach Tectone about the concept of checking your friends, basically not letting them get their ego too big or stuff like that, was actually in bigger context more so about Atsu's stream. He wanted Tectone to hop on his stream and apologize to him there so that his audience would see it and get like a Q&A section live on stream as a form of checking him, which I guess this is also a part where I'll give my opinion. I don't know about y'all, but it sounds a little bit insane to do. You don't check your friends by dragging them to the public square and make fun of them. You like check them by DMing them and talking seriously one-on-one. But you know, I digress. That's basically all that matters from the Tectone thing, aside from him disproving 99% of the things from the closure doc that are related to him. But again, that's rehashing all drama, like with GooseEgg and all that. So if you want to know more about that, either watch the video from February that I made that's also about 30 minutes long, and watch actual Tectone's, you know, response. He goes in very, very in-depth. Tuonto responded next, which was really short compared. It's only 2 minutes instead of 3 hours. Not much really happens in this video. He admits that the reason as to why Brax was invited to certain events was him, basically, that he didn't have a good opinion of Brax as well. He says that that is due to Brax doxing his girlfriend at the time, because his girlfriend is a VTuber who hadn't had the face revealed, and Brax posting the group picture that they had from the party showed her face to the public, and that basically is doxing. They know who the VTuber is, and the apology that he gave to Atsu's girlfriend and Atsu about everything, Atsu felt was very either disingenuous or basically like incomplete. Then GooseEgg responded, which is really short. It's just a tweet basically saying that he takes back about ending casually and respectfully due to Atsu basically going back on what he had said to Goose originally about his personal growth back in February. Which is what I mentioned earlier about Goose's like call out section in Atsu's big doc, and they also talked through DMs as they had like reconciled their differences and everything that went down. But GooseEgg basically took everything back and was like, please keep my name out of your fucking mouth. Don't take others down with you when you fall the hardest. Like, he basically was like, don't involve me in this any longer. I thought we were good. We're no longer good. And all that. So yeah, and this is where the original recording had ended, but then a second document hit the proverbial tower of the Genshin community. Braxophone responded to the 34-page doc on that Atsu posted the day before this, saying, please stop lying about me. The name of the doc is called I'm Hurt, and this is his final response as far as I'm aware. So first he begins by apologizing about what happened, says that he's glad Atsu is alive, and asks no one to harass anyone involved, which W. He also says the following: I'm not going to sit here and act like everything I said in my initial document is true, which is a thing to say, but I will say I'm genuinely sad because I felt like we had worked everything out, but your newest document broke the trust I had in you from our more recent discussions, because it basically shirks any and all responsibility from you onto me and paints me into a villain that's ruined your career and life. Here's the whole truth. He goes ahead and points out multiple inconsistencies in this weird pop quiz format for Atsu and sets in stone what has and hasn't happened, including a new brought up point that Tuonto and others in Atsu's friend group that I mentioned earlier live with a Hoyoverse staff member. I actually forgot to mention this. In here, it is mentioned that there is a group, like a Discord group call. No, sorry, a Discord group, like server between Atsu and a bunch of friends, which is what this discussion came from, which has Atsu, Fob, Tuonto, Dish, here, Akron, Anthony Chen, BTMC, WAP, Inviosity, Inviosity's wife, Dish's husband, Slice, Slice's wife. Like it's up. There's all of the little like group of friends that were brought up in the original thing in February. A bunch of them live with a Hoyoverse staff member. He said that this, alongside other evidence, such as that people in the house who don't create Hoyo content got invited to Hoyo events. He uses that to argue that there is nepotism at play, and that Hoyo basically prefers these creators and Atsu due to their contact with Hoyo, their direct, like, personal contact with this Hoyoverse staff, and that basically this is so convoluted, but basically that Atsu only uses this privileged position to basically reinforce that relationship between that friend group and Hoyoverse. He also says he feels betrayed, that Atsu's document not only lies about him, but also such as calling him a Zionist and stuff like that, which he had never expressed his opinion on as far as I'm aware, but also calls him a liar regarding evidently true statements of the original document from February, as well as trying to make it seem that Brax's anger and sense of exclusion from the community was all because he was not invited to Tuonto's birthday party, which is false. That's not what the original purpose of the February document was. He also says that sponsored videos are not the same or always related to long-term commitment contracts, basically saying that even though he cannot legally disclose whether or not I personally got a contract, he's basically implying that what Atsu said about him his contract falling through and lying about his contract is incorrect. And then he also says at the very end, he makes a small letter to Tuonto saying that the video he posted makes the Brax seem like a villain, when the reality of the situation was that he had asked his girlfriend who she was, which she responded with a nobody. And so because he had never had to ask anybody to post pictures online, because he had never been in friend groups that like had that as a customary thing to do, as a cordial thing, he never thought twice about posting it. And he once they brought this up, he immediately deleted it and apologized. And then at the very end, he ends up going point by point of that Atsu had actually brought up in the closure document, wanting him to debunk all of these points, but he ended up not debunking everything. He said that Atsu has the power to blacklist creators from working with Hoyoverse. He cannot prove that. Atsu has the power to give contracts to creators working with Hoyoverse. No proof of it happened for me specifically. Looking at a screenshot from Atsu's own document, it looks possible a year ago plus. Atsu spreads hate of Braxophone to other creators and industry professionals, literally done in the screenshots shared by Atsu, which is up here. If we go back, he literally says, "Guys of cringe, can't believe I have to type this, but although I do not trust or like him, if you are/want to be friends with Braxophone, it is totally fine. I've been told he's going around to Hoyoverse staff complaining that I'm not befriending him, and as a result, he cannot gain access." So that literally was admitted. Atsu discriminates against white male creators. Of course, the fuck not. Gave you an inch and you took a mile with this one. You absolutely knew what making me answer this would do, and you're diabolical for it. I hope the brief Twitter clout was worth it. Deleted this from my doc early on. I had connected some dots with me. Tectone, Brand, Doro, the Jonathan, Goose, all are not ever being reached out to when an effort was made from other creators. It was removed within an hour because I realized I was wrong for posting that, and clearly that wasn't the issue. This question was added to make me look bad, even though I deleted it early on. To make it clear, none of these creators wish to be involved at all, and this point was all my emotionally charged speculation that lasted about 30 minutes. I deleted this from a document because I already knew I was in the wrong. For him to bring it up now was only to garner more sympathy for his cause. I know this was wrong. I deleted it because I knew it was wrong. That's it. Atsu only games with people who are bigger streamers in his immediate friend circle, or specifically a woman. Certainly seems that way with the big streamers at least. Can't speak to it currently. Atsu befriended creators such as Ant, Dish, Tuonto, Lily, Pichu to use them and grow. I don't know all your history from what you've told me. I no longer believe this. He used to believe this. That's also worth important keeping in mind. Atsu had privately warned Tectone about Braxophone. This is true. Atsu blacklisted or had Braxophone uninvited from parties. This was Jake, not Atsu. Atsu brought people back for a photo to specifically exclude Braxophone at the OTB party. This is true. This was all the way back in February, and one of the most meme portions, what about it wasn't the same photo? This is what that was. Atsu is silencing people to protect Ziox for undisclosed incident. This is not true. He's not silencing anyone. Atsu is covering up sexual assault, not relating to above. I don't know where this came from, but no. Braxophone warned Atsu about a Genshin voice actor actress at the OTB party. I was asked by another voice actor the same day to warn other creators who have collabed or might collab with them. Braxophone contacted 3 different Hoyoverse staff regarding Atsu. I only remember contacting 2. One was me venting about feeling specifically isolated about the clique, and they took it upon themselves to reach out. The second was an attempt to contact Atsu directly. Braxophone knew about the pay cuts Atsu was taken from other creators from Hoyo staff. Yes. And then at the very, very end, after the fact, like edited in, said Atsu and I will be speaking later on everything, which I wonder what that is. Then this is where the second recording had ended, and then the third, no, never mind. The dumb analogy doesn't work anymore, but yeah, Dish responded. First, she says that she needed to clear certain things from Atsu's accusations, starting with the fact that Atsu had either deleted their friend group server or kicked everyone out of it, for which Dish had prepared because she had heard rumors about it and has screenshots of certain things just in case. She cannot provide further screenshots because it's either deleted or she's not a part of it, so this is what we got, basically. First of all, she says that the accusation that she made or replied to Brax as a way to save face and for PR is outright wrong, that she sorry, damn, I'm talking too much. My throat is so dry. That she did it because she felt she had wronged Brax as well, and that she truly did not know that Atsu has such strong negative feelings about Brax, which was also a different accusation that she proved, or at least put evidence for her case. She said that she had reviewed Atsu's original 55-page document in February, not for PR, and to check that if there was anything damning about her, but actually to, sorry, I have notes and I get lost sometimes, but to soften the language, to make Atsu take proper accountability and even improve negative thoughts and opinions on her. It's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of tiny text, but basically, like, this is condescending to take responsibility instead. Personally, I think all this should be removed. Sounds like you're trying to explain, but more like justify your attitude towards Brax. And then saying, I don't mind what you said about our responses. I understand 100% that those felt bad to read, and even worse than the way people control them to fit a different narrative. So she feels okay about the harsh language that Atsu had for her. So it definitely was not for PR and to, you know, make herself look better. She said that she's not two-faced, and that although she did provide Atsu emotional support in the background, she was also extremely harsh on him about his original response on Twitter that Atsu deleted. That made him seem really rude, and that he was just doubling down on hating Brax, basically. Atsu, you know, apologized for that, took it back and deleted it, but, you know, that still is what, you know, Dish was very critical of towards Atsu in the DMs. She also says that Atsu neglected to mention the 5-hour-long call the friend group had to have an intervention with Atsu when everything happened, to explain Brax's document and try to get him to better understand his actions and to take accountability, which eventually led to the 55-page document. She says also that she doesn't think he's intentionally lying about her and wishes him peace and happiness, which, you know, W, good stuff. Please no one, once again, harass anybody. And then Ziox responded, because if you remember, all the way when we started at the beginning, when we were talking about this document, at the very, very end, Atsu mentioned that Ziox has skeletons in this closet, which is an insane thing to say, and we're going to get to right now. Glitter responded a very ominous tweet saying, "Oh, so we're lying now," regarding the Atsu situation, to which Ziox then replied with the line from Kendrick's Euphoria that reads, "But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you," which I told you Kendrick would come back in this.
Euphoria.
Ziox then went live later in that same day to cover the supposed skeleton in his closet on a stream called Euphoria, funnily enough. He spends about 30 minutes talking about how the skeleton in his closet was of an event that happened 2 years ago, which the problem was solved the night of, and Ziox made sure afterwards, even like right before making the stream, to make sure that everyone involved was all right and felt, welcomed and included and all that stuff. Basically what happened was that a group of people at a party left the party for a while, then asked if the party was still ongoing, to which Ziox replied to them that yeah, and they could bring people, which he remembers asking permission for. This group of people came back with a considerable amount of +1s that Ziox did not expect, and a good chunk of which were drunk, and their noise and actions eventually woke up people in the building they were at and got the party canceled, which the main person who asked Ziox about it got pretty, sad and mad about, but, Ziox apologized to both the host and the person involved and immediately, tried to calm down all tensions and all that. But that's it. That was the supposed skeleton in the closet. If you don't believe me, you can watch the first 46 minutes. The first 15 are him yapping and doing listening to Euphoria or doing the Wordle. So yeah, skip about 50 minutes in and you can hear about the story. So yeah, no, it's a little bit wild. He says that Atsu is blowing it insanely out of proportion, and the victims who have had serious life-threatening situations reached out to Ziox to ask him what he had done because it seemed that serious. And I honestly also felt that it was that serious when I read it originally. Full disclosure, from my perspective reading it. He also says that this is all a bunch of high schooler baby drama at this point, but that he hopes Atsu is okay and that no one harasses anyone again. So big dubs once again for Ziox. And then Atsu responded to specifically Dish, not to Brax, not to Ziox, not to anyone. I think this happened while Ziox was live, so I don't think Atsu could have replied to Ziox, but he could have replied to Brax. But he didn't. He replied specifically to Dish. He says Dish is trying to save face once again, and that she said that there was no winning, really, whether she had gone public or not, to which Atsu argues that this isn't about winning. He says that the Discord call was actually about a different server that didn't have significant others from content creators featured in that server, and that the call was meant to solve differences about that instead. Then he also says they actually did call that night and called him out, that it made him feel like he was getting scapegoated, which was right here. Yeah, I appreciate y'all calling for me with that night. I made it clear I'm done subtweeting with other people. And I realized how badly some of you were scapegoating me, and I'll really rely on so this glue you often refer me as. Then he feels as that waiting as long as Dish had in order to have his back and clear his name of the allegations was doing it for PR, basically. That at that point the dust had settled and that no one cared, and that Dish's response, at that point, even if it was unpopular, she wouldn't face much backlash for it because everyone had come to an agreement of that how the situation had ended. And then with all of that, he ends it with, "I'm so sad it's come to this, and I regret ever confiding in you about my discomfort," which is an absolute dagger of a statement. To which Dish replied, "It is clear that we're never going to reach an understanding of all that happened or the motives behind each decision. I'm no longer going to try to reason with you. You are beyond reasoning with. It's so heartbreaking that it has come to this, but I am moving on." So seemingly another burnt bridge for Atsu, which eventually led to this. Atsu finally has bowed out, and it's officially over as far as I'm aware, unless for whatever reason he wants to come back or someone drops another nuclear document out of nowhere. Which, please, dear God, I've recorded this video 4 times, please. Some other people have posted their own tweets and docs, but they do not pertain to the matter at hand or aren't as important and are just side tangents. For example, Doro wanted to make clear that the white men racism bit from, Brax's doc wasn't something he felt. He was included in here, right? As well as the Jonathan and all those. It was just something that Brax had seen from an outside perspective. Also, a different example that I didn't mention because it wasn't that important to this, 1010 made a document apologizing to Brax about not stepping up as a friend before and trying to mediate between Atsu and him, since he was close friends with both, and he feels all of this could have been avoided if he had. And there's more documents, there's more people coming out with their own perspectives, especially on the closure documents, since Atsu basically mentioned quite literally every content creator alive. So yeah, it was a lot. it's been a crazy 48 hours, and yeah, all of this to say this could have been solved if Atsu hadn't immediately, you know, just blocked, like he didn't actually block, but like basically mentally blocked Brax out of his mind due to like 2 weird interactions. This could have been solved if Tuonto had been more assertive about his opinions and hadn't, you know, let it simmer and let Atsu take all the heat for it. All of this could have been avoided if people had communicated better, basically. And there's a bunch of the stuff in here that I personally feel like should have been kept in DMs. I honestly feel that Atsu would have probably benefited a lot more, and people would have taken it a lot better if he had just said something along the lines of, instead of a 34-page document, said like I'm sorry, I've been doing rough mentally, I'm going to be stepping away from consecration, and you know, that's it, peace. Like if he had kept it at that, he wouldn't have faced even more backlash, he wouldn't have lost even more friendships. And yeah, it's a rough situation. Once again, please do not harass anyone. And yeah, that's all I got. It took me forever. This is a 38-minute recording on the 10th of June at 6:38 p.m. EST. So if anything happens afterwards, I guess I'll put a pinned comment the same way that I did last time in the February stuff. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Hopefully this was informative. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching and supporting. Blah bless, all love. The final timer is probably gonna be an hour with the February stuff and this, so we have a whole movie worth of drama in the content creation Hoyoverse space in the span of what, 4 months. Hopefully this means that this is an end to it and we can move on and play Wuwa and Genshin Honkai. Oh, good y'all.